I've wanted to hammer some sort of Hart/Art Ross discussion. Typically, I don't really care too much about the Art Ross.
Yeah.
But this year, what an amazing race it is. You've got 3 players, Nikita Kucherov, Nathan McKinnon, and Connor McDavid, all within 3 points of each other. All within 3 points of each other. Everybody has 10 games or fewer remaining. It's going to be a photo finish. And 7 of the last 10 Art Ross winners have won the Hart. So this is applicable. We don't have a Carey Price fucking shit up this year. I think like whoever wins the Art Ross could theoretically or should be favored, maybe possibly, to win the Hart. And as Sean threw up this lovely full screen, you see McKinnon's got 8 games left. McDavid's got 10 games left. Kucherov has 9 games left. The voting odds, or I'm sorry, the Hart odds greatly favor Nathan McKinnon. He's got 127 points with 8 games left. McDavid has 125 points with 10 games left. Kucherov, 126 points with 9 games left. McDavid does not have 30 goals. The other 2 have 40 goals. But McDavid is pushing and will easily surpass 100 assists on the season, which is something that only Bobby Orr, Wayne Gretzky, and Mario Lemieux have done. And I'm sorry. Also, I guess, to finish the full screen, Dom Luszczyszyn's net rating model, which factors in offensive and defensive rating, factors in a bunch of things like line mates, competition. If you know Dom, you know that it's a thorough calculation.
Nerd.
McDavid has the best one in the league, and it brings me to this. Nathan McKinnon should not be favored to win the Hart.
I disagree. I disagree. I think like the most plausible scenario in which like one of these guys gets hardware is McDavid wins the Art Ross and McKinnon still wins Hart. Like I think that's the most logical split, just based off of like the body of work from McKinnon, who his usage has been like outrageous, especially in the first half for Colorado, was like playing like 30 minutes a night and just dragging a team with no bottom 6. And so that I could see that happening. Plus he always came up in like big moments and you know, the first half of the year, I think it might be more impressive that McDavid is here now, given his first half, like first month and a half, clearly hurt, not producing up to his standards. So, you know, I would like to see it end that way.
So I think that this has been an interesting race. We were talking about it a little before the show with Sean. So much about this Hart race is pace. And throughout the season, Nathan McKinnon has by and large been, I'm going to use very small air quotes and say the best player and performer in the league, because at points, I remember earlier in the season, like Kucherov was better than him and Austin Matthews was better than him. And at points even early in the season, for stretches, Connor McDavid is better than him. We all know how this ends, though. Connor McDavid is going to finish the season leading the league in points, possibly by like a better margin than you would think when it's this close, just because he's going to be playing 2 more games than these other guys. He's going to have 100 assists, which, as I said, nobody does unless it's Gretzky or Bobby Orr or Mario Lemieux. The nerd advanced statsy sort of things will indicate that he was the best player. And I understand that voters, based on most of the season, have felt McKinnon's been better. However, the season's going to end. We are going to have a body of work. And that motherfucker McDavid is going to look like the better player.
Yeah, maybe. I would love if those two play each other in the final game of the season. It's the Avs and the Oilers. I really hope
Give it to the
that
winner. Give it to the winner.
I really hope that they're like tied or something. Or
Give
it to the winner of the game.
I believe this was lamented by one of you at some point, and I agree with it.
It was
like,
me.
what a shame.
It felt like a wasted bullet that those two teams would be playing on the final day of the season, when presumably the picture was locked and maybe they were just kind of coasting into the playoffs. But in this scenario, it could be very, very interesting. So, and this weekend was super interesting. I think Saturday is when all 3 of those guys were really like jumping and hopping each other on the leaderboard in like real time. And so that was, that's cool. It's fine. It's very exciting that there's 3 guys that are in the mix? Because usually you have one guy pull away around this time.
Right. I will tell
it's
you
McDavid.
something that I've been doing lately. Just when I saw how the Art Ross race was shaping up, I've been betting McDavid over whatever his points are every game, and it hits. I'm not doing the ESPN guaranteed money, guaranteed win sort of thing, but this time of year, I am confident with my own money that McDavid's going to have a bunch of points the rest of the way. Yep. Is there any doubt in any of our minds, unless he misses time, that McDavid is going to finish with the most points? No. He's definitely on pace to, and knowing that he does this, he ramps up at the end of the year anyway, and is like, oh, I can finish with 150 points. Let me fucking do that. Let me go nuts and finish with 150 points. He's also for sure going to finish with I don't want to say 35 goals, but that ugly 29 is going to look a lot prettier by the end of the season.
It's quiet with ugly 29. Leon Draisaitl, most handsome man in the league.
That is a fine 29.
Yeah, right. We also have to point out that Connor McDavid is a Zach Hyman passenger.
That is somebody in the chat said, this isn't fair. He has Zach Hyman. Which I saw some conversation about Rantanen is going to finish with a lot of points. And does change anything? And it's like,
no.
That hasn't hurt McDavid, so that shouldn't hurt somebody else. I will just say I strongly feel that it should be close. It should be a close race and everything. I think that the favorite should be Connor McDavid.
Do you think that there's going to be any of the voter exhaustion for McDavid, and especially when the other guy is McKinnon, who's been always a bridesmaid, never a bride?
That's why I think currently the odds say what they say. If you were to give me 3 weeks ago these odds, I would understand it. But right now, I'm like, what are we talking about? We know how this is going to end. Again, 10 games remaining for McDavid, 8 games remaining for Nathan MacKinnon. That's not even to mention Nikita Kucherov. God bless you. You're just not winning it this year because it's either going to be the, I'll say, correct and deserving winner or the, as you said, kind of deserving at some point. How has he not won it? Hall of Famer who has done everything but won the Hart, Joyce and McKinnon. We should also mention, for the first time in this conversation, somebody in the chat brought up quite angrily the definition of Hart, which is it's the most valuable player, not the best player. As a long time, I don't do it anymore, but as a long time Hart voter, I'm sorry, no, it's not. It's not. People vote for best player. There's 2 examples I could think of recently where it was the other one, and one was Taylor Hall and one was Carey Price. In both of those seasons, there wasn't really a best player that year. I want to say Jamie Benn led the league with 85 points
87,
or something.
Yeah.
87. Yeah. What year was that? I actually have it. 2015, Carey Price won the Hart. There was not a single player with 90 points. Your best players that season were Jamie Benn and John Tavares. No offense, motherfuckers weren't winning Hart. The goalie had a really good year, and they said, hey, you know what? Let's give it to the most valuable player. Historically, though, they really don't prioritize by who is the most valuable player.
I mean, if you're the best player, you're probably the most valuable player.
And as I said,
that's just, it's
7 of the last 10 were the Art Ross winner.
Yeah.
We all silly like the mayor.